Hey, what's up guys? Little man with a big opinion here, and today's video I'm doing a updated ammo stockpile video because the last one did really well. It's been like 6 months, maybe a year, I don't remember. But I thought in this video I wouldn't just showcase, the dopamine filling. Wow, there's a bunch of ammo. I thought I'd also talk about the plan, the mindset, why I have this much of this ammo and why I don't have as much in certain other categories. So later on in the video, after I talk about certain aspects, I will show how much ammo I have. Don't worry about it. This might be a little bit long. But if you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, comment, leave your feedback. All that's fine with me. So, like I said, today's video is an ammo stockpile video. But why do I have so much ammo? What's the purpose of it? What's like the mindset that you need to get into when you're putting away this much ammo and holding on to it? It's probably the first thing preppers think about. It is 2020, so they might think about ammo and toilet paper. But today's video, just talking about ammo. We'll go down a few rabbit holes. As you can see, everything on the board is what we're going to talk about. I will pause the video at some point, and I'll kind of mark through what we've talked about, just to help me out, and maybe visuals help you out. I don't know. So, for starters, looking at the top left of the whiteboard, you've got your main, secondary, and then options. This is a very average loadout. Everyone's is going to be different. It doesn't have to be as cut and paste as this. This is just a good starting point. So, your main is going to be an AK-AR variant. And I put variant in there because you could have an SKS, you could have a 300 Blackout AR, you could have an AR chambered in 22, it could be a standard 5.56 223, but those aren't your only options. You could have a SCAR if you wanted to, she's a 308. Kind of talking about military surplus a little bit ahead. An M1 Grand or an M1 carbine could be your main. You could not be the type of person that wants to get that close to someone, and your main could be an AR-10 or Elite Enfield. Point of it is your main, when it comes to your ammo stockpiling part, the base level, the goal you should have set, 1,000 rounds. So, pause the video and I'll show you what I have for my main. Alright, so for my main rifle, it is an AR-15. I'm slowly transitioning it into being an M1 carbine. It's just, I got the AR-15 when I turned 18. I've had the M1 carbine for 6 months. So, in front of me, I have a wide assortment of magazines. Some I like more than others. Some are alright. So I have 6 steel standard run-of-the-mill magazines. And all of these are loaded and ready to go. Every 6 months, I take the ammo out. Let the springs rest a little bit, and then I reload them. There's some stuff that says modern magazines, you don't got to worry about wearing springs out. And then there's some stuff that says if you keep them loaded for over a month, you've torn the springs up. As far as I'm concerned, I've had my AR for about almost 5 years now. Some of these mags, like this Tan 1 and this PMag, have been with me since the beginning. Never had an issue. This one on the bottom is a standard issue Army mag. It's pretty old and never had an issue with any of my mags, whether they're 5 years old or 6 months old. So 6 of the same steel ones. If you bought 10 of them, I remember getting those for a deal for $5 a piece. So I bought 12, gave 6 to my dad, kept 6, and so we got those 6. We got these 4. These 2 are, or this one's a P mag. These 2 are Mission First Tactical, standard issue Army, and then over here I have my Pro Mag. These guys were at Academy. They were the only magazines I've had these for about 2 weeks. They're 20 rounders. They came in a pack of 2 for $15. I've never had an issue with Pro Mag. I don't just use them for my AR. I also have Pro Mag magazines for a high point carbine. I bought, and I have the Pro Mag version of a 30 round magazine for my M1 carbine. Haven't had issues, so not only were they the only magazines out there, but they were also pretty good price. So I have 4 20 round magazines and 1 40. So y'all can do the math there if you want to. I'm kind of lazy. I mean, 30 times 10 is 300, 80, 40, 120. So we're looking at about 420 rounds loaded. And then I have a 30 caliber ammo can. I've had this box for a while. It is nearly full. It was full. Like I said, those magazines are a couple weeks old. So I took 80 rounds out of here and filled those up. So I did dump this out and count it because I didn't remember how much I had before I made this video. So we're looking at 435 rounds. In hindsight, I probably would have dumped them out. But I like the idea of it. I'm perfectly happy with it. So that is my main, the ammunition for my main. It is a little light, but I'll give a little bit for it being on the light amount for the amount of magazines that I have that I can, I've got nearly half of my main ammo is readily available. I can jump right into it. Let's get back to the whiteboard. Alright, so we've talked about the main rifle. I showed you the ammo I've got stocked up for it. Now we're moving on to your secondary. That's normally a pistol. Some people, it could be your sniper rifle or your shotgun. Or your main could be your only firearm. For the pistol, I have a 9mm. I haven't had it for very long, so I only have a minuscule amount of ammunition for it. And I picked it up shortly after this whole COVID thing, and so 9mm has been really hard to find. The only 9mm that I have purchased, other than the 2 50-round boxes I got with the gun, after COVID, was some self-defense rounds. I'll go ahead. Camera's probably not going to like the focusing on this, but they were the Smith & Wesson or 6 Hour, I don't remember, just hollow point rounds. And I'll talk about premium ammo at another point. But your secondary, if you're going to deal with the arguing, 9mm versus 45 ACP, I could care less. If you have a secondary, awesome. 2 guns is better than 1, but 1 gun is better than no guns. So I don't really have anything to show you for pistol because I don't have a lot of ammo for it. So moving on to your options, shotgun, sniper, you can get a Mossberg Model 88 for $200. It's a very cheap shotgun. It's a reliable shotgun. When I got mine, the research I did on it was it's built the exact same way as the Mossberg 500, except this is their model that's built in Mexico with, parts from Mexico. Both of the guns go through the same, stress test and certifications. It's just one's made in the U.S., one's made in Mexico. I think the other thing they said was different is you can't put the different barrel on the 88. That allows for you to have an extended tube on it. So for $200, you might even have the shotgun before you have an AR, AK, or a pistol. Moving on to your sniper or your long-range firearm, there are tons of options. I myself, I've got a Mosin Nagant. I've got a Italian Carcano. I've got the 30-30. I've got a 243. I mean, the 30-30 and the 243 are probably what every 15-year-old in the South, shoots their first deer with. It's a very common gun. Ammunition is always out there. The other two that kind of gets into the realm of military surplus, again with the M1 carbine, I like to collect old guns. So I will showcase the ammo for that right now. Alright, for those long-range styled rifles, I don't have a lot of ammunition here with me, partially because my 30-30 is at my grandfather's house. He loves to shoot it. And at the time, I couldn't have my firearms in my dorm. I don't live in a dorm anymore, but I just haven't gone up to go grab it. So more of that ammo is, with him. Slightly going down a rabbit hole. These are the $5 ammo boxes from Walmart. They're plastic. They have a rubber seal on the inside that makes them highly water resistant, but not quite waterproof. These are roughly the same size as the 30 caliber cans. The only most of the ammo I couldn't fit in here was this one box. But inside this container, we've got a little bit of 30-30. My writing says I have 18 rounds inside this box. More 30-30. We've got some loose Mosin. Take some of these out. There's the Carcano ammo. Again, with the idea of military surplus, the Italian Carcano I bought for $250 at, a gun store. Thought it was a sweet deal. It was a World War II gun in World War I. Really, really cheap. This ammo is so hard to find. Do not confuse it with 6.5 Creedmoor or 6.5 Grendel. It's not the same ammo. And 90% of the ammo for this gun, it will say Carcano on the box, but if it doesn't, you're looking for the 6.5 by 52. The Japanese, I don't remember if they used by 51 or 53, so their round is slightly off. The Swiss used the 6.5 by 55. The 6.5 Creedmoor, I think, is 6.5 by 50, and the 6.5 Grendel is another, they're all slightly different from each other, but they're virtually the same round. This ammo, really difficult to find. $250 gun. Even though I have the cavalry version, back then it was designed for shooting 150-yard shots. I think that's fairly good. But I spent $20 to get one of these boxes at a gun show. The other box I spent $28. I went to one of the biggest gun shows in Texas, and I bought 2 boxes at the same time. There were 4 there total, but I didn't want to spend that much money. I was kind of, trying to buy other things. This was, back burner idea. So you'd be much better off spending $400 to $700 on a 30-30. Motions are in the $400 range now. An 8mm Mauser, a 7mm Magnum, anything like that. But I've talked about that specific ammo a little too much. So we'll get everything sorted back in here real good. Pick up this loose round. And so I do have a spray paint with like a stencil that I'm going to put, sniper ammo, shotgun. I know this one's AR just because of what's already stenciled on it. And then I have one more, or I have 2 more I need to show you what's in this one and what's in that one. But we'll get more done on the whiteboard. And like I said, I thought this was the only one. I forgot I used one 20-round thing as like props for in front of the whiteboard. So I only realized after I marked out a few things. I need to go back over a couple of things. For the secondary, I didn't mention 500 rounds is a good starting point. And for the sniper, I also didn't mention that 100 rounds is, a good starting point. So, get that out of the way real quick. The reason why I have body armor and a question mark on there is because it kind of doesn't fall into the category of ammo. It is one of those small little rabbit holes I will discuss for about a minute. I run a plate carrier with compartments for 6 magazines, a med kit, and I've got a hydration pack on my back, and then a small admin pouch. That is what I run on the plate carrier. On my LBV, which is a load-bearing vest, it goes over my plate carrier. I've just got the old Vietnam style one just because it felt more comfortable wearing that than trying to put everything on a plate carrier with like the newer style load bearing vest. But I do run, canteens with like compass and all that kind of stuff. That will be an updated video. But the reason why body armor is up here is it holds magazines. So when I showed you my main rifle, I've got tons of magazines, but I can't carry them all with my setup. I am a smaller person. I could carry more magazines, but a lot of weight starts getting involved. And so that kind of flows into the bug in, bug out that I have on here, which is another small rabbit hole. While it's awesome to have all of this ammo in front of me, y'all like seeing, wow, this guy's got a ton of ammo. I wish I had that much. Haha, I have more. I am all for bugging in. 90% of issues I believe you should bug in for. And if you are someone that stockpile ammo, like myself, I couldn't hope to carry all of this ammo and shelter and food and water and quickly leave my area. I just couldn't. I think it's much easier to secure your castle, wait for 2 weeks for anything, the major issues to die down, and then try to leave. Or this is your last stand, and if it's life or death, that's when you leave, and you got to give up some of your stuff because you can't carry everything. Hopefully you've got a truck that'll get you away. That's what I'm betting on. Anyway, that covers the body armor and the bug in, bug out. So, I don't know why I wrote knives. I don't have anything to talk about knives. A bow and a crossbow. Actually, I think my bow is in the garage. I've got about 15, 20 arrows. I've got wooden dowels. I've got about 50 of them because they were like 10 cents a piece at a garage sale one time. Bought extra, fletchings. If I needed to, I could just sharpen them into a point with a pencil sharpener. Or I've got some Indian heads. I know how to make them. It's kind of ammo. It's kind of renewable. Kind of stealthy. Falls into a bunch of those categories. So that is something else. If you can't own a firearm, maybe you're too young, bad decisions in your life, or you don't live in the U.S., that might be your biggest only option. I guess I could have put air rifles on there as well. Most of them, a decent one you can kill squirrels and rabbits and small game with. I don't have an air rifle. I have rifles. We mostly talked about the military surplus. I think there's solid rifles to have. Part of mine are collection. Part of it is kind of dealing with prepping. They're not the most efficient. That's why they're a surplus rifle. The Mosin Nagant, the Russians built millions of them in the early 1900s, late 1890s. They're obsolete now. They are not obsolete in the fact that you can drop targets at 1,000 meters. They're not obsolete in the fact that it's slightly bigger than a 308 and you're still putting lead down range. It's better to have a Mosin Nagant than no firearm at all. But if someone's rushing into your house, I might take the M1 carbine, the 22. Might take some of these over the military surplus. They are cheap. A lot of them, ammo can be cheap for them. And they're abundant. And then they're a solid investment. My Mosin was a Christmas present when I was 15. Dad bought it for $100 at Cabela's. They're $400 or $500 guns now. So if you look at it as a retirement part of your portfolio or investment, you can do that too. Second to last thing talking about guns is antique firearms. You can buy modern made ones. You can have an old one. They still exist. They are a viable option. In a lot of states, they're not considered a firearm. They're not considered a weapon. Mine was bought on Black Friday from Cabela's. Camera decided to fall. We'll leave that in. We'll be good. You can see it down there in the bottom. It's the 1851 Navy Colt revolver. For $100, I got the gun, 100 rounds, a pound of powder, cleaning stuff, everything, and it shoots a .45 caliber lead ball. Solid option. If you're under the age of 18 and you're trying to get into prepping and your parents will let you, solid option. Do know that if you took your AR to the range, you shot a couple hundred rounds through it, and you got home, it was really late. You don't clean it that night, you clean it the next morning, the next couple of days, your gun's not ruined. It's got carbon. It might take a little bit longer. This gun, you almost have to clean it. You shoot 50 rounds. That's going to take you a while, but you shoot 50 rounds at the range. You get in your car to go home, you better start taking it apart and cleaning it right then and there, because they get dirty very fast. Even with synthetic powder, they get dirty really fast. the guns can mess up if they're not cleaned every single time the same day you get it. But enough about all this other extra stuff. This video is getting pretty long. I do have 2 other categories of ammo to talk about. Your shotgun, I say you should have about 1,000 rounds. And I wrote 22 on there because that could be your main, could be your secondary, could be your only firearm, could be a pistol or a rifle. You could have the Mark 1930 caliber version of the 22. I don't know. But those are the last 2 categories that I'm going to talk about. And the reason why I also have 1,000 rounds written on the board for shotgun, including your main, is it's a very cheap ammo to purchase. I spent $20 the other day, got 100 rounds. So for $200, you'd have your 1,000 shotgun rounds. Same thing with 22. A little bit cheaper. It would cost $40, roughly. Give or take $10 to get your 1,000. So I'll showcase that ammo, then we'll wrap this video up. Again, sitting back down on the floor, going inside the other box. So $5 box, $20 worth of shotgun shells, 100 rounds. You could probably fit another 10 or 15 inside this box. I bought the Federal and the Winchester. They were both like $5.28 a box at Walmart. And then I've got duck or waterfowl shotgun shells somewhere. They're not in the prepping closet. They're probably in my game bags in the garage. I don't remember. And then the 22 is inside a 50 caliber ammo can. Took the lid off. Little bit of everything. Basically if something was on sale, I got it. So like these are 36 grain. Really small, really tightly packed. And when I bought these, I got these for like $2.12 a box. It was insane. This was the most recent purchase, and they haven't had these at Academy for a while. But it's a 500 round brick, and these were $19.99 when I got it. And of course, I picked it up, and now it's off, but I might as well pick it up. Because I do have loose 22 in here. This is about 2,000 rounds. Digging to the bottom. I mean, it's a good, up to mid finger. So a decent amount in the bottom. Again, I was dumping them out. I thought it'd be cool. And then I decided against that because partially what's nice, and again, we're going down another rabbit hole where we're talking about lots of ammo. Having ammo magazines, having them still in their 50 round boxes or 500 round is, if you have a prepping group and y'all prep together, you plan to fight and die together, live and survive, thrive together. If you've got, a Masters at Arms that is, taking care of the ammo, like you've got a 12 by 12 shed or something, and it's time to hand out ammo for hunting, or someone runs out of ammo when y'all are being attacked. It's really easy to hand someone, a box of 20 rounds and say, all right, bring back what you don't use, kind of ration it out. Same things with the magazines. You could have 500,000 rounds all stored up in containers like this. If you don't have a speed loader, and even if you had one, it still takes time. Whereas, bam, run out of ammo, throw in another, run out of ammo, throw in another. With this many magazines and more to come in the future, you eliminated the problem of having to hand reload, or speed reload magazines to get back in a firefight. Now you worry about overheating your barrel. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video. You got to see the ammo. That's exciting. You learned a little bit more. And with that, I'll catch you next time, guys.